come from the angle of first talking about the advantages, and then later, before round up, I hope I have time to also talk about, I won't call them disadvantages, but areas we should
the
strengthen.
Challenges facing this scheme.
Yeah, areas we should strengthen. I'll talk about the advantage from a very personal level and sentiment. Being someone who grew up outside my state of origin, outside my region, I understand firsthand what it means to integrate, to learn Nigeria, to know Nigeria, and have, people, allies, friends from outside your ethnic group and your region, and the very many advantages the very many advantages attached to that. I don't know what else is better than it in our country today, because we have so many things we quarrel about our country. The only thing that still remains is when there is a melting point of people from different places, and then you can talk and say, no, these people are not really like that. You can talk about that with certainty. And then you say, okay, well, sometimes these people behave like this because of this. Just the idea of the difference in food alone. The difference in food, the difference in culture, the difference in religion, and the reasons why we believe in the many things we believe, and how we are all victims of certain things we don't understand. I'll give an example. So let's say the narrative in the Southeast now. I'll talk about the narrative in the Southeast because I live here in the Southeast now, and I'm from the Southeast, is marginalization. And there is a fair sense that people who are not economically empowered in the Southeast say the problem is the Northerners. And at the Northerners, they have this, they have that, and that is it. That there is fair treatment. Yeah? But then if you go to the North, and go to the communities in the North, you find out there is more poverty in northern communities than in any Southeast community. If you want to talk about deprivation, you have more deprivation in the North than you have in any part of the Southeast. If you want to talk about disease, if you want to talk about lack of access to education, if you want to talk about lack of access to drinking water, and just about any basic amenity, you have more in there in the North. So to an open mind, when you go there, you find that no, the problem is not an ethnic problem. It is really a leadership problem. That we live in a country where we have selfish leaders, regardless of where they come from, regardless of the name they call God and where they worship. That we just have a crop of leaders, and then you just get better appreciate that the problem is, let us fix our politics. And you better appreciate the fact that we can only fix our politics if we unite as young people, across religion, across ethnic groups and everything. And that was the glimmer of hope the P2B candidacy showed Nigerians, that anything is possible if only Nigerian youths can, look at politics and look at politicians with the eyes of who is best for us, and not who is from my region.
My ethnic
or my ethnic group. So that idea that the NYSC scheme was set up for cultural exchange, and is a laudable one. That is one. The second one is just general exposure. General exposure. Now, it doesn't matter where you were born. Even if you were born in Chicago or Washington, when you meet people who have not been exposed to a different kind of thinking, you have limitations. You will always have a certain kind of limitation in the way you interpret phenomena, right? And so, if our children get to go to school, and that's all they've done, from many families, especially today in Nigeria, we are raising our children from our home to the school. They come back in the evenings, they do the assignments, and then off to bed. And then tomorrow we'll repeat the routine. Saturdays we are busy, they hardly get to mingle around the neighborhood. Mostly these days they mingle inside of the flat or inside of the compound. A larger majority of us, this is our new reality in Nigeria. Now, when we raise our children that way, the NYSC offers many children the opportunity for the first time to see and experience some different things. So beyond the cultures, beyond the academics, it is a good scheme that exposes children to some sort of leadership. prepares children to some kind of leadership. Okay, I'm playing this role here. Okay, we are organizing this thing here. Okay, I'm doing this with this team. I'm doing it with this. But for so many children, it is the first time they are doing that. And then the opportunities abound for people who will, for the first time, go to certain communities. These communities are in need of their service.
Yeah.
Okay, so you might be whatever you study. I don't think any discipline is more than the other. It just depends on our creativity. So some people have gone to far-flung communities and realized that they could even begin petty trading and earn better than their friends who will go to work in oil companies. NYSC has offered that scheme. Yeah. NYSC have made people fall in love, get married, and that beauty of Nigeria is sealed in so many of these marriages, where somebody from this state marries somebody from that state, and for the first time, your in-laws, your kinsmen, are for the first time visiting their in-laws in another place.
State.
And not only have you been exposed, but you have also exposed your umunna. Yes, because I remember when I was getting married and we were going to Abia State, from Imo State we were going to Abia State. I still remember what some of them were saying. They were saying this like I was taking them to Afghanistan. Like the whole they were saying that and all of them. And one of my uncles said something, and he said, but you all should be grateful to him. If he had come back and told us that the girl he's getting married to is in Kano State, when they said he was getting married, I was afraid. Because I knew... Yes. He said he was afraid because he knew that they are duty bound. They must travel. And that he's afraid of going to the north. Now when they told him it was Abia State, that he was jubilating. Now what are they saying? That they should be careful. That kind of a thing. So people have done this. For instance, when you look at the last governorship election in Lagos, the GVR guy, the whatever Victor Rose, Rhodes, Vivo, married to an Igbo girl, right? Now you see that's the family they will raise. In fact, their marriage alone is going to do a lot for different communities. For instance, the area he lives in, Lagos. How can you begin to talk about, he is an indigent, how can you begin to talk about something against the Igbos? So that has also done a lot. Just the fact that a better appreciation of our country and the fact that we share a lot more in common than we share a lot apart is a beneficial, it's a wonderful reason why I think the NYSC scheme should stay, even though amended.
Okay.